Gas up the Jeep, it's good to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. The highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
Hey everybody, I'm back in the kitchen again today, and you know, it's that time of year where I'm starting to think about making my infused vodkas. The days are getting shorter, the weather is getting cooler, and it's a perfect time to start thinking about some of these fun flavors that I really enjoy. Now, one of my favorite infused vodkas is horseradish vodka. Here's a big hunk of horseradish root right here. Now you're probably thinking, horseradish vodka, that sounds really weird, but actually it's a very traditional vodka, infused vodka that's made all over in Eastern Europe. So people have been doing it for a really long time. All you need is some fresh horseradish root and some vodka. Just take this horseradish root and chop it up or grate it and put it in a jar and then pour the vodka over it and let it sit for a couple of days. Now it just depends how strong you like it. I find that 2 to 3 days is actually perfect, but some people actually leave it for a couple of weeks. So it really depends on the flavors that you like. I think that 2 or 3 days actually is a little bit better for me because it's less bitter. Now, one of the most common ingredients that people add to their horseradish vodka is honey to sweeten it up and help round out the spiciness and the strength of the horseradish. But what I like to do is I like to add some fresh apple to it, and I think that combination of apple and horseradish is actually perfect. The actual apples will add some floral qualities and some sweetness, and the horseradish, of course, will give you that bite. So I think that that combination is something that I really enjoy. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make horseradish and apple infused vodka. So let's get started. So 3 simple ingredients for this recipe. We have our horseradish, our apples, and our vodka here. So let's get started by peeling this horseradish. I'm going to cut this to make this a little easier to peel. Cut the end off. Okay, so now we're just going to chop this up into small pieces. Like I said before, you can actually grate this and get actually more of that horseradish flavor out of it. But I find that it makes the finished product a lot cloudier. So I'm going to just cut it into kind of a dice, and we're going to throw that into our jar. Now, just like anything else, the smaller you cut it, the more surface area you create, and you get more of the flavor out of it. You can actually put it in the jar just like this. In these big matchsticks, and then, or you can cut it into a little bit smaller pieces, and you're going to get a little bit more surface area exposed, and you get much more of that horseradish flavor. And I like to do this for a shorter amount of time, so I like to have as much that surface area as possible. If I were to cut them in larger chunks, it would definitely take a little bit longer to infuse. Now this doesn't have to be precise or perfect, as we're going to strain this out in the end anyway, so just a rough chop. Okay, so we'll get this into our jar. Okay, and then with our apple, I'm just going to make some nice slices. That. Now we'll put all these apple slices in there as well. Okay, look at that. So we filled up our jar with the horseradish and the apples, and then the only thing we need to do is to add our vodka. In this case I'm using Tito's, but you can use any vodka that you like. Okay, now I'm just going to take a spoon and kind of push all this underneath so everything is underneath the vodka. Okay. Okay, that's it. There it is. All we need to do is cover this up and put this into a cool place and let it sit for 2 or 3 days. Now, like I said, you can let this sit for as long as you want. Some people leave this up to a couple of weeks. But for me, I think 2 or 3 days will be perfect. So anyway, look how pretty it looks already. Oh, and don't forget to save your vodka bottle, because we're going to actually strain this out in a couple of days and we're going to put it right back into the bottle. So I like to put it in some water and wash off the label so I have a nice clear bottle. I actually have one right here from a previous experiment, which I have ready to go. But just make sure that if you don't have a bottle designated to put your finished product in, save the original bottle and that'll be perfect. So all right, we'll see you in a couple days. All right, I'm back. It's been about 2 days, and you can see that our apples and our horseradish have started to change a little bit of color, and it's also added a little bit of color to our vodka. So I think this is going to be perfect for the way I like it. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this out, and then I'm going to get it into a bottle. Wow, holy moly. Man, it's like oh. Wow, that is super strong. So woo, my eyes are watering. Okay, so now I'm going to strain this out. I'm actually going to strain it into this bowl here, so it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with, and then I will put it into something easier to get it into the bottle. Wow, it's strong, but it smells really good. And the nice thing about cutting the fruit into larger pieces like this is that I can use it for something later. Now this is super, super powerful. Really, really strong with that horseradish flavor. But I think I might be able to maybe use it for maybe a relish for meats or something like that. So I'm going to actually keep some of those apples, and I'm going to discard the rest of the horseradish. Now, if I had made a sweet apple vodka with no horseradish, just apples, those apples would be delicious because they soak up a lot of the vodka, and they'd be delicious to use in a dessert or anything to make a relish with it or something. So, but I am going to try to make a relish with these, maybe to use with roast beef or something, or pork. Ooh, but they are very pungent. There. And then we'll get it into our bottle. All right, there it is. There is our apple and horseradish vodka. Very potent but delicious stuff. Now, what would I use this for? Well, definitely it's a nice sipping drink, but it would be great to probably use in a Bloody Mary. That's what I've used it for in the past, but I've also enjoyed it as a nice sipping drink to have with a nice roast beef sandwich or your roast beef dinner. It's perfect with that sort of meaty, anything that you eat horseradish with is a perfect pairing to have with this. I guess the only thing it's missing is a label, which I don't have, but I do have one of my Arlo and I stickers, so I'm going to use that on the bottle here. Let's see. All right, how about that? That looks pretty good, right? Well, I guess I should try a little bit, right? I don't have a proper glass, but I'm going to have a little bit in this little wine glass here. I was hoping I had a little shot glass or something, but just take a little bit. Okay, very, very strong aroma and smell of horseradish. Woo! That'll clean out your sinuses. Man. Oh, man. Oh. Very powerful horseradish flavor. But it does have that nice side of sweetness from the apples, and as the heat from the horseradish really kind of starts to dissipate, that sweetness starts to come in. That is so good, actually. It's not for the weak of heart, that is for sure. You really need to love horseradish for this, but this would be perfect to sip on, like I said, with a piece of roast beef or a nice roast beef sandwich. That would be beautiful. Ooh. Wow. Whew. It's definitely a sipping drink. You need to take tiny little sips because it just goes right up and cleans out your sinuses. Man, but it's so good. There's something about it. It's like one of those things that it hurts so good, right? It's like you want to stop doing it, but you want to have another sip. Oh man. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I appreciate you following along. If you have any suggestions as to what you might use this for, let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for following along, and if you like this video, please like, please subscribe. That always helps us a lot.
It's
and we'll see you in the next one.
free.
All right, bye-bye.
Load up the pans and fishing poles. Arlo and I,
Wow,
we
definitely clearing out my nose. And also, like I said, I set aside some of those apples that were soaking in the vodka, and I think I'm going to be able to use those to make a nice relish. I can dice them up nice and small and add some other, maybe some fresh apples to it and some other ingredients, and maybe use that as a nice relish for some meats, piece of beef or something like that. So that's going to be an experiment for later.